Tara Brach's radical acceptance is a profound journey into healing our inner wounds and breaking free from the imprisoning belief that we are not enough. Drawing from her experiences as a psychologist, meditation teacher, and spiritual practitioner, she explains how many of us live in what she calls a trance of unworthiness, a deeply conditioned belief that something is wrong with us. This trance causes immense emotional suffering and disconnection, but through mindfulness and self-compassion, we can wake up to our intrinsic wholeness and worth. Radical acceptance is not about giving up or settling. It is about seeing clearly, feeling deeply, and responding with love. Chapter 1. The Trance of Unworthiness. This chapter sets the foundation by revealing how most people, often unconsciously, live with a sense of personal deficiency. From childhood experiences and cultural conditioning, we learn to believe we must prove our worth through success, perfection, or approval. This trance leads to chronic self-judgment, anxiety, and emotional isolation. Tara emphasizes that healing begins when we recognize this trance and bring compassionate awareness to it. We cannot heal what we are unaware of. The first lesson here is the power of naming and seeing our inner patterns of self-rejection. Lesson: you must recognize the trance of unworthiness before you can wake up from it. Chapter 2. Recognizing the Trance. Brach explains that we often reinforce the trance by avoiding painful emotions or staying constantly busy. We may distract ourselves with work, relationships, or digital noise, all in an attempt to avoid the deep feeling that we are not okay. The moment we slow down and become still, we often encounter buried shame, fear, or grief. But facing these feelings is the doorway to healing. When we bring presence to our inner world without judgment, we begin to break the cycle. The lesson is to pause and observe your emotions with kindness, instead of trying to fix or escape them. Lesson: awareness of your discomfort is not weakness. It's your path to awakening. Chapter 3. Awakening from the trance with mindfulness. Mindfulness is presented as the essential tool to break free from the trance. It involves paying attention to our thoughts, emotions, and sensations with openness and curiosity. Tara shows how mindfulness allows us to observe our suffering without being consumed by it. Through presence, we begin to relate to ourselves differently, not as a problem to fix, but as a being to understand. This chapter emphasizes that acceptance is not resignation, it is a courageous engagement with what is real. Lesson: you cannot change what you hate. Only what you accept can be transformed. Chapter 4. The Sacred Pause. The sacred pause is a moment of intentional stillness where we stop doing, controlling, or analyzing, and simply be. It creates a space between stimulus and response. Tara encourages us to practice pausing before reacting emotionally, especially in difficult moments. In this pause, we can choose love over fear, presence over habit. This is not about suppressing emotions but making space for them. The sacred pause helps us reconnect with our deepest self. Lesson: in the pause, we find our power to choose presence over autopilot. Chapter 5. Unconditional Friendliness. This chapter introduces the idea of developing an inner attitude of unconditional friendliness, also known as metta, or loving kindness. Tara invites us to imagine how we would speak to a beloved friend or child, and to extend that same compassion inward. Often we are our own harshest critics. But healing requires us to turn toward ourselves with gentleness and curiosity. When we offer ourselves love, we create the conditions for transformation and peace. Lesson: you are worthy of the same compassion you give others. Chapter 6. Opening our heart in the face of fear. Fear is a universal human experience, but when left unexamined, it drives much of our behavior. This chapter explores how to relate to fear without being ruled by it. Rather than avoiding or suppressing fear, radical acceptance teaches us to breathe with it, stay present, and respond wisely. By softening around fear instead of bracing against it, we expand our capacity for courage and love. Lesson: fear loses its grip when met with tenderness, not resistance. Chapter 7. The Reign of Self-Compassion. One of the most practical teachings in the book is the RAIN practice. Recognize what is happening, allow the experience to be there, investigate with interest and care, nurture with self-compassion. This framework helps us navigate painful emotions with mindfulness and loving kindness. Each step invites us into deeper awareness and healing. Rain can be applied in moments of anger, shame, anxiety, or sadness, and it becomes a habit of turning inward with love instead of fear. Lesson: Rain is not about solving a problem, it's about holding your pain with love. Chapter 8. Releasing the grip of shame. Shame is perhaps the most painful of human emotions because it makes us feel fundamentally flawed and unworthy of love. Tara describes shame as a core wound that keeps us trapped in silence. The key to healing shame is bringing it into the light, naming it, feeling it, and offering it compassion. When we share our shame in safe relationships or therapeutic settings, we discover that we are not alone. Vulnerability becomes the bridge to freedom. Lesson: Shame cannot survive being seen through the eyes of love. Chapter 9. Radical acceptance of desire. Desire is often misunderstood as something to suppress, especially in spiritual circles. But Tara shows that desire is a natural, life-affirming energy. Problems arise not from desire itself, but from clinging or aversion. We can learn to relate to desire mindfully, seeing its impermanence and wisdom. Whether it's the desire for love, food, or recognition, we are invited to honor it without being enslaved by it. Lesson: Let desire be a teacher, not a tyrant. Chapter 10. The Dance with Imperfection. Perfectionism is a trap that fuels self-criticism and anxiety. Tara teaches that embracing our imperfections is a revolutionary act. Life is messy. We are messy, and that's okay. By surrendering the need to be flawless, we open to being fully human, beautiful, broken, and whole. She reminds us that true belonging doesn't require us to be perfect. It requires us to be present. Lesson: Freedom comes not from being perfect, but from being real. Chapter 11. The U-turn to connection. When triggered by others, we often react outward, blaming, judging, or withdrawing. But radical acceptance invites us to make the U-turn, bringing attention back to our own body, emotions, and unmet needs. This shift from external blame to internal awareness allows us to respond with clarity and compassion. Relationships deepen when we own our experience instead of projecting it. Lesson: Turn inward first. That's where healing and clarity begin. Chapter 12. Seeing basic goodness. At the heart of radical acceptance is the belief that every being has basic goodness. This doesn't mean people don't cause harm, but that beneath conditioned behaviors lies a heart that longs to love and be loved. When we practice seeing the humanity in others, even those who hurt us, we open the door to empathy and healing. This practice dismantles judgment and creates space for forgiveness. Lesson: See the soul behind the mask. It changes everything. Chapter 13. Healing relationships with radical acceptance. Relationships are one of the most powerful arenas for practicing radical acceptance. Whether with partners, parents, or friends, our triggers offer opportunities for growth. Tara shows how mindful presence, honest communication, and deep listening can transform conflict into connection. Accepting others doesn't mean tolerating abuse. It means seeing clearly and responding from love instead of fear. Lesson: Love grows in the soil of presence and truth. Chapter 14. Belonging to life. The final chapter is an invitation to come home to ourselves. When we let go of the illusion of separation and worthlessness, we remember that we belong to life, to love, to each other. Radical acceptance reconnects us with the sacredness of being. We begin to live not from a place of lack, but from a deep sense of wholeness. Life becomes less about fixing ourselves and more about embracing each moment with an open heart. Lesson: You already belong. Wholeness is your true nature. Conclusion: Radical acceptance is both a path and a practice. It asks us to meet ourselves and our lives exactly as they are, with awareness and compassion. Tara Brach's teachings remind us that healing doesn't come from changing who we are. It comes from remembering who we've always been. In every breath, we are invited to pause, feel, and love what's here. Because in the end, there is nothing wrong with you. You are enough just as you are.